to relax. Always have to relax. We're here to have a little bit of fun. Thank you, Jess. Floor manager, where's the pen? Can I have the pen, or is that your pen? Oh, and he caught it. Thank you, Travis. Letters for this evening before we invite all the guests in to take their seats. On the first instance in years where we find ourselves relaxing together, I realised that we simply have never had anything in common. Oh, sad lady wants to know if she's got a future with her husband. They've been together for years, got kids, all that sort of thing. Second letter tonight, what's changed? Have our kids become so dumbed down that their minds no longer have the capacity or maturity to cope with the real world? And that's about ratings changes and what kids are dealing with at school and whether they are dealing with the same level of maturity that they had 50 years ago. And the last letter tonight, bluntly, my sister has become a tradie junkie. What's a tradie junkie? Well, now you have to stay seated and watch the third segment, because that's when we're talking about this letter. Coming up very shortly, all the panellists, very shortly. See you soon.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Good evening, everyone. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. The guys are already chatting amongst themselves. They've not seen the little nuts. Let's meet them straight away. Hello, Slim Jim.
Good to see you, Gary.
Nice to see you,
I
Sue.
haven't been here for ages.
Absolutely
I thought the
ages.
last time I was here, I actually offended you or something like that. You know what I mean?
And Travis actually came down to me before the show and he said, do you know, Slim hasn't been on the show all year? And I said, are you serious? And he goes, yep, and that's true.
I feel welcome back.
Well, welcome back. It's nice to have you here, Sue. I'm sorry we stumped you, but we didn't.
No, that's good. And you're well?
Oh, well. You?
Yeah, good, mate.
All right, and you've been jamming and gigging where?
Yeah, still playing heaps. It's our 30th anniversary this year for Slim Jim and the Fats Band, which is
Some people
incredible.
don't age.
Yeah.
But you know, when you don't have hair, you don't age.
Is that what you
So
reckon?
it's one of those tricks.
I didn't have much of a choice in that, Gary, to be honest. Okay?
Oh, well,
but I do bathe in oil of Ulay every night. How's that? The secret of a fantastic complexion and your makeup artist.
Oh, will you take those tips as well? You'll bathe in the oil of, what is it?
Oil of Ulay.
Oil of Ulay. I don't even know what it
It just
is.
sounds
Oil
great.
of Ulay.
Ulay.
Doesn't it?
Ulay. Where does that come from?
I don't know.
I
You
think it's
squeeze
oil of
something.
It's
Ulay.
probably
that
some
comes out.
extract from semen of a yak or something like that. I don't know. I'm not too
You
sure.
said that.
I read Mae West had something
I was going
like
to go
that.
home and bathe
And
in
examine the
fat
back
of
of
it,
the
but now
thing.
you said that.
Yeah, maybe
No.
not. Maybe not.
Stace, had any interesting cases lately? Couple?
Couple. I've got rid of
Stacey's
two
in
of
the
my
real
worst
estate
tenants.
industry. She's what?
I got rid of two of my most horrible tenants on the same day, which was
And
fantastic.
the funny thing is, they're on the show next week.
Oh,
You're
fantastic. Lucky me.
Nice to have you. Hello, Margy.
Hey, hi Gary, how are you?
You've been playing Superwoman and scaling the heights of tall buildings at a single bound and all that sort of thing.
Well, raising money for charity is always a good thing, isn't it?
Always a good thing, depending on the charity, I suppose.
But I must say it was a little bit more scary than what I probably realised it was going to
Because?
be. Well, you're dangling on a rope 40 stories above the ground, so that's sort of the beginning. And then the wind starts to blow and you start to just gently turn. And I thought, oh, I don't remember this in the instructions.
That makes me very scared.
So I was sort of trying to do the old... But it was lots
How
of
long
fun.
did it take you to scale?
It doesn't take long to go down.
You just
Yeah,
drop.
you just don't want to go down too fast, obviously. Yeah, but very good thing to do. Lots of fun.
Good on
Do
you.
it.
Good community spirit.
It
Johnnie,
was for PMH. Is that a good
well
plug?
done. Of course
Yeah.
it is. When was the last time you did something as adventurous as that?
Oh, I have never done anything as adventurous as Wonder Woman. But no, it's quite amazing. I've been sitting here chatting, talking about different walks and things, and I'm thinking of doing a walk myself.
Where would you go?
I said the Bibbleman track, but
Yeah, good start.
That's a great one.
And then you
Yeah.
graduate.
yeah,
Then
prob-
you do
I'll probably never
Portugal,
do another
Spain,
one.
and then you do, you know,
I'll
something
probably never
else.
do it again, you know.
Here we go. First letter. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Hi, Mitch and panel. We've been married now for over 20 years. We've two terrific, well-adjusted teenage sons and have had a very busy married life. We're both hardworking and we both keep very busy. We've taken some wonderful holidays, at first with the children and in the last few years with other couples as well. It sounds idyllic, and perhaps it is because we've never even had an argument about anything. On the last holiday that we had, It was the very first trip that we'd taken without other couples or kids since our short honeymoon all those years ago. Well, here's where it got curious for us. We found ourselves alone together day after day and realised we have nothing, absolutely nothing in common. He wants to go to the beach, I don't. I want to go for a long walk, he doesn't. Turns out that we don't even vote the same way. How would you not know that after all those years? I can go on, but in the first instance in years where we find ourselves relaxing together, I realise that we simply have never had anything in common, except a mutual attraction and obviously an enormous amount of tolerance. So I'm writing to ask if you believe we have a future together. When I mentioned to my husband that I thought we had nothing in common, he laughed and went back to reading his newspaper. Where to for my marriage panellist, Claire of Northcote in Victoria. First up, Johnny. Any hope?
Well, if I were the husband, I probably would have done the same thing and gone back to the paper as well.
Because?
Well, no, all seriousness aside, I would have probably giggled a bit more. Because, come on, you've been married 20 years and this is the first argument you've had. You've only been on one holiday. You just got to adjust to your new lifestyle with your husband. You've got more time with him and he really should have put down the paper and it's time for him to get romantic. So it's time for you two to work this out because it's just a new thing and you're just not used to spending so much time together. It's time to get over it, re-spark it.
There you go.
And go for
Margy,
it.
Johnny says just a new phenomenon.
I love Johnny's little twist on it.
However.
Oh look, I just think sometimes, you know, maybe a relationship's as long as a good book. Some are long, some are short, and maybe it's done its dash. So, you know, maybe they're great parents and maybe all of that, but if there's nothing left, and if he can't be bothered putting down the paper, maybe their next holiday will be their own holiday, and that's not a bad thing.
Ooh, a bit sad though. I listened to Margaret Mead years ago when she was still alive, and she'd been married 3 times, and they said, which of your relationships was successful? And she said, well, hang on, they were all successful. She said, but marriages really only last between 7 and 15 years, and that's where they just peter out. And he said, well, where do you get that from? And she said, well, this thing of undying love was born in an era where people only lived till 30, and now that we live a lot longer.
But it sounds like they're good friends because they've gone the longevity. Haven't
And
they
reads the
really?
paper, good friends.
Well, they're obviously on a friend level, and so they should probably just stick there. What a great place to be. Probably last longer than a marriage. There you go.
Stace?
Well, maybe she didn't. Maybe he didn't. She didn't think that. Or maybe rather, he didn't think that she was being sort of serious about it, and so he's just laughed and read the paper again, and she's all of a sudden feeling a bit, you know, oh, well, he doesn't
She's
even
not
think.
engaged him properly.
Well, yeah, I'd say so, because he just probably thinks, oh, well, she's just having something to say and making a bit of a joke about it. And then he's reading the paper and she's just thought, oh my God, you know, he's not even responding to what I've said. So maybe she needs to have a proper conversation with him. But
It's heavy holiday banter, though, isn't
it
it?
is,
Really?
it is really. I mean, she's making a remark.
When
He
you're trying
thinks
to
it's
relax.
flippant. He thinks it's just a remark, and then he's going to be in the doghouse because he didn't, you know, have this big conversation about what they don't have in common.
Gosh, Olga and I talk every day, but when we go on holidays together, we're reading a book, we're relaxing by the beach or the pool, and we're together, but the conversation is minimal.
But he just wanted a Corona and the Courier Mail. And all of a sudden he's in a debate about their, you know...
How do you know he wanted the Courier Mail? Why do we have to go to Queensland for a decent paper here?
But I'd say she's picking a fight with him almost.
Yeah.
She's trying to, you know, she's trying
Give
to
us the rap,
nitpick
Jim.
him, poor guy.
What's going on?
Well, I think it's pretty disappointing that you feel that after 20 plus years that your marriage has sort of like come to a stalemate or to an impasse. Because frankly, if you've got 2 terrific, well-adjusted teenage sons, they're the sum product of both you as a couple. And I feel that is like the best testament to a marriage, that your children are becoming so well-adjusted regardless of, you know, your wants. And I think, you know, to show that much unselfishness and that much dedication to your children in your 20 plus years of marriage shows that you obviously did have something that was common for the pair of you, but now the children have moved on and you're actually isolated. A bit like Gary, I think you have to reintroduce yourself back to each other and then rediscover the next phase of your life.
There you go. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the politically correct brigade. Maybe. It's all about the ratings system and what kids are able to consider literature at school, and oldies thinking it might be porn now. We'll see when we come back. More of Sweet and Sour. Don't go away.
Getting in touch with Sweet and Sour is easy. Just head to sweetandsour.net.au to send us a letter. And while you're there, why not check out our past episodes? Plus, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And for a behind-the-scenes look at Sweet and Sour, check us out on Instagram.
And for everyone who does send us in a letter and we discuss on the panel, we're sending you to Goldstone this week, courtesy of Natalie Cameron. And
Did you say Goldstone?
Goldstone.
Not,
Goldstone.
not yet, I'm too young, but yeah, Goldstone. There you go. All right,
That
Slim, you're on
category.
notice. First up on this letter,
Okay.
titled Literature or Porn, Hello Sweet and Sour.
Sounds like a letter for me.
When I was at school in the late 1960s, my school marched off all the students to the movies to expand our minds, and we were made to watch D.H. Lawrence's Women in Love. We were 16-year-old girls. As any of you who have read the book or simply seen this movie know, it has many themes and subtexts, including nudity, lesbianism, and gratuitous sex. What's that? Back then, it was rated PG, and we discussed it in our literature class for 2 weeks. I was so dismayed to read that this same film, almost 50 years later, is now rated R, and something that can't be included in the literature curriculum because of its explicit, mature content, apparently. What's changed? Have our kids become so dumbed down that their minds no longer have the maturity or capacity to cope with the real world? Or perhaps have our society's minders become so controlling that they themselves haven't the capacity to distinguish between literature and porn? I was also aghast to find another movie that we also saw with the same class in 1969, Rosemary's Baby, had also received the same treatment. Please tell me how this could possibly be a positive step for the exploring minds of students. Has the politically correct brigade been working overtime under the radar? Janice of Rose Bay in New South Wales. Slim.
Well, Janice, I do think that D.H. Lawrence is a fabulous writer. So between the segments of lesbianism, nudity, and can someone explain what gratuitous sex is? What is gratuitous?
I've never had
Great
any.
sex?
Well, it must be gratuitous.
I don't know.
Gratuitous? It's got more of an edge to it, more of a sinister edge. Anyway, whatever it is, between those three concepts, there was some fantastic use of the English language. When it comes to porn, it's obvious what porn's all about. It's just for cause and effect. And, 1.5 minutes of fun for some 14-year-old. But in regards to things like Rosemary's Baby and the way, I actually remember seeing Rosemary's Baby as a young fella, and it did actually have an effect on me. I probably didn't sleep for a couple of nights because the nature of the story was that alarming. But I had the same effect with Jaws. I mean, I didn't go back to the ocean for about 25 years.
Do you
after
remember that
'cause I was
phenomenon? Me
and now
too.
we look at Western Australia, and it's almost the equivalent of what we used to see on Jaws, 30 years ago, whatever it was.
We're all scared
So, it's definitely literature. I understand what you're saying regarding the politically correct brigade, but as far as I'm concerned, that is literature. It needs to be appreciated as literature, and porn needs to be identified as porn simply. So no, I don't agree, and I think it's an important thing for all children to be observing literature, because I don't think children actually read enough these days.
Agreed.
myself.
Stace.
But I have to agree with Slim, and literature is literature, and as Slim says, people need to appreciate that kind of thing. And I agree with the Jaws thing as well, because I was actually scared to go in the pool after Jaws.
Even the
I was
pool.
scared to go in the pool, and I know that there's no sharks in the
I'm sure
pool.
it's going to come out of the plug hole somewhere.
Well, don't say that, because even now, I don't really like going in the pool that much by myself, even though I know there's nothing in there. But now you said it's going to come out of the plug hole. I probably won't be going
plug
in the
hole.
But
No,
did you see
no,
that
now
boa
I know.
constrictor come out of the toilet? No, it's another
Yes, I
story.
did see that. So now I won't be able to go to the toilet probably by
All
myself
right,
either.
Margy, we've got to move on.
Well, I actually think it's really important to have access to all levels of life and all sorts of things around us. And some of them we'll taste and we'll really love, and some of them we'll taste and we'll get nothing out of. But I think that it's very important that we have the access to everything. So now we're living in a little world where it's almost a padded cell that we have to live in, because it's all made the choices for us. So I actually think that really we need to open it all back up. I think we are making everything a little too sweet. I I know it's sweet and sour, but we actually are making the world too sweet, and we're not giving people opportunity to grow in the directions that they want to. And I think that most people have a perimeter that they're sort of, you know, confident and happy in. And I think we all need to sort of be able to get to where we want to be. It's not a communist society, and we don't want everyone to be the same. We actually want the colourful characters, and you know, that's how you get them, by exposure to, you know, the great things around you. So I actually think we need to stop, you know, dulling
Take
everything
a big, deep
off.
breath and
Yeah,
reassess.
that's right. And don't be too precious.
Johnny?
Well, yeah, I kind of agree with that too, Margy, there. But we've also got to go the other way as well. I mean, talking about porn, it's a topic that's always excited me. So, and there's a lot to talk about. But the ratings have changed for a reason, because TV shows have changed and we haven't become dumbed down. We've been desensitised, we've been familiarised, and we have to therefore do have some sort of strict rules on rating, because otherwise people just will go for it for money and shock you and give you. No, I don't watch those shows. I don't want them. I don't even want to watch them, let alone have them rated. But so yes, we can't make exceptions for D.H. Lawrence. Ratings are there for a reason. Things have changed.
The corporate dollar, we're all protective of it.
It wasn't that long ago that like number 96 had full frontal you know, nudity
you
and
still
all
get
that sort
that.
of thing. But you know, like that. But back in those days, that was right outside the square, and it did nobody any
And
harm,
now
and it was a great
everyone's
thing.
too scared. When
That's
we
right.
come back, we're going to be talking about tradie junkies, whatever they are. Find out when we come back. More of Sweet and Sour. See you soon. Tradie junkies. Got any mates who are tradie junkies?
Sweet and sour in winter. There's so much spice, it'll keep you warm all night.
Sweet and sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour.
It's not. It's definitely not. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. It's not me singing. Here we go. Dear Sweet and Sour, bluntly, my sister has become a tradie junkie. She's always been one to follow her passions, and couple that with a total absence of discipline, it makes for a woman who can't control her urges. I know a lot of people like that. Most of them come on the show and chat. She's a 39-year-old single mum of 3 teenagers. Her 18-year-old daughter, with whom I have a wonderful relationship, confided that her mum was always getting things fixed in her house for free. And often she would come home to find strange men in their family home working away at this or that, and sometimes just sitting at the dining room table having a tea or a Coke. She found it all very odd and even challenging. She's no dummy, and whilst she didn't say as much, I'm sure she's starting to feel uncomfortable in her own home. Last week, when my dearest sister asked if I could babysit the 2 youngest kids for a couple of weeks while her house was being touched up by tradesmen, good choice of words there, I confronted her about the possible goings-on. She told me not to be so ridiculous, and at the same time, to mind my own business, which basically confirmed everything for me. So panellists, for the sake of the kids, do I get more involved here? Can I call her ex-husband to take the kids? But that just might be extreme. I don't know what's the best thing here for everyone, especially my eldest niece. And it comes to us from Marie of Thornley in Western Australia. Margy, what's going on there?
I think Marie's a little bit of a sticky beak. Yeah.
None of her business.
Well, yeah, I just think, you know, her sister's not harming anybody. She's going about her life. I mean,
She harming the 18-year-old daughter?
Well, I've made many a tradie a cup of tea or, you know,
Cup of
scones
tea.
for morning tea if they're in
Scones.
my house and they're doing a great job. I think maybe her sister's just got a great relationship with these people, and you know, life's a circle. Maybe she's just giving back to people that are working really hard for her. I think people need to stop judging other people and just, you know,
Margy's
let people do
saying
their own thing.
You've got no hard evidence.
Yep.
And you're just meandering this thought in your head.
Well, very
and
quickly,
making
aren't
it
they
worse
going?
than it is,
Yeah,
perhaps.
they're going straight to the, you know, their end, and you know,
Johnny,
maybe
what
it's
if
nothing
it's
like
true?
that.
Well, yeah, it could be true, but the thing is, right, what happens, how many people watching have ever messed up the family dynamics and said, I wish I didn't do that?
Oh,
this is what could probably happen.
What?
You might lose your sister. Don't go to the husband. You've got to think about this, because you're definitely going to lose her, especially if you go for the custody thing. You know, so...
Who's going to lose who? Hang on.
Well, the sisters will have a huge fallout.
Falling out.
She has to think about this, keep an eye on things, then approach her, tell her perhaps you're going to go, threaten her, I'm going to go to the husband. But just don't make any steps like that too fast, because you'll break the dynamics of the family and you'll lose your sister.
Yeah, that's true. My mother always says, you speak, you reek. And it's true. The moment you hurt someone, you can't take it back.
Yeah,
That's another good
it's a
one.
regret.
You speak your right. Yeah, these cliches are coming thick and fast tonight. Come on, Slim. What are we doing?
Marie, you're basically calling your sister out to be a slut, which is pretty unfortunate.
Probably true.
I personally think you're probably jealous because she's getting some and you're not, as well as the fact she's probably getting a discount price from the tradies. So when it comes to being like the complete mother, she's doing the right thing. She's being clever with the family budget. She's bringing in the deal on time. And as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't mind going over and trying to hang a painting for her myself on occasion. But you know, Thornley's a fair trip. You know what I mean? It better be worth my while when I get there. What about you, Stacey? What do you reckon?
I'm good
I
at
don't know if
stringing
I can
lights.
outdo that.
That's about it. I'll come over and do your lights for you.
I'll do your lights.
Look, I agree with Johnnie and I think Margy as well. And Slim.
Everybody's agreeing.
My pleasure.
That means she doesn't agree with you, though, Slim.
And I hadn't finished my sentence.
Oh, she's also going to agree with... Very diplomatic today.
I hadn't finished my sentence until
Okay,
Gary
okay,
interrupted.
okay. What's the
And
diplomatic
Slim to a
stance?
degree. I think the sister may have it wrong and she may just be reading the whole thing incorrectly and she may just be, I don't know, having these thoughts that are not correct. So she might have to maybe ask her sister what's going on and, you know, maybe voice her concerns, read the 18-year-old and just say, I don't know, maybe, you know, the daughter's feeling a little bit uncomfortable and is she aware that leaving the daughter unsupervised with these guys might be making her feel uncomfortable or whatever, but just get to the bottom of it before you run around accusing your sister of, like Slim says, being a slut, because it might all just be quite innocent. I've had tradesmen in my house. I offer them a cup of tea or coffee. I don't let them
We all
starve
do.
and dehydrate. It's just good manners to offer
She's
them
going on a 2-week binge,
drink.
though.
You know what kills me?
2-week binge.
Stacey, she said she's a 39-year-old single mother of 3 teenagers. Like that qualifies her to be a slut. Well, I know plenty of 39-year-old women that have got 3 teenage daughters, and most of them, you know, may not be considered that way. It's
Well, it
just
says
part
mother
of
of
life.
3 teenagers. They're not all, doesn't say they're all daughters, so might be one daughter.
Teenagers
and
or
two.
whatever, 3
All
children.
right.
You know what
Do
I mean?
we
Yeah,
like this
so
letter to
poor
give
woman.
away the
If she
pair
had
of limited
15
edition?
children, I'd be concerned.
We're
you know
still
what I mean?
talking about it. I reckon
Yeah.
they might like this letter to give away the pair of
interesting.
limited edition sunnies.
Yeah,
Do you like this one?
I like this one.
Jim goes,
Me
"Oh,
too.
I
yeah,
like
yeah,
this
yeah."
one.
Yeah, you
Me
don't have any
too.
compassion for the lady who's
No, I think
gone
she-
away on holidays and
No, I think
you
she's
know,
setting her
found nothing in
husband up.
common? Oh, she's setting his
Setting him up
husband
for a
No, she's
fall,
a ball
poor
breaker,
guy.
Gary. That's what I think.
Let's
She
see
is
what
a
this
ball
side of the
breaker.
panel says. Margy, who do you like?
We actually,
Oh, you've spoken about it. Okay,
We've
we've got
talked
team
about it.
sports happening over here.
yeah, we've come together, haven't we, Johnny?
We've agreed on something.
Oh yeah, just the one. But we
And-
thought, well, the woman on the holidays,
Yeah.
Johnny made a good point.
Yes, she is. She may have puffy eyes.
You know,
Oh, she's crying.
she's crying with her husband,
Yeah.
so she might need the glasses.
Nah,
She's a tortured soldier.
she's a whinger.
That's right.
Nah,
No, she's a whinger. She's
still got puffy
setting-
eyes.
She's
She's a
setting her
window.
husband up.
puffy eyes.
Puffy eyes and whinging go together.
She's going to badger her husband.
Coming
while
out to
they're on
who?
holidays.
Come on, Stace. Who's going to get him?
Number 3.
Number 3? You happy with number 3 in the end if I call it?
Look, I'm happy with it.
There you go. I'm going to
We
call
can't
it. First
separate
time for
the
everything on this
sunglasses,
show.
they'll be a monocle.
So coming out to who?
And
Letter
if it had-
3.
The trade junkie.
The trade junkie. But I've just looked
Who's
down the
not a
bottom.
trade
It's
junkie?
Marie of Thornley of WA.
Yeah,
again.
we're,
Yeah,
sort of, we're sort of
Marie.
rewarding Marie
We
for
like
being
that.
judgmental, aren't
That's
we?
right,
You know
we're
what I mean?
giving the
Along.
sticky beak sister
Too
a
late.
pair of
It's
sunnies.
too late.
Okay.
It's too late. We can go on
Oh,
about it,
yeah,
but
we
it's
kind of
too
are
late.
Well,
rewarding
I think
Marie.
has to give them to her sister.
Yeah, I think Marie should give them to her sister. I
Yeah.
think
I
that's
think we
the
should all get
condition.
free sunglasses and bucket the lot of them.
I
Bugger the lot
agree.
of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
Bugger the lot of them.
Bugger the lot of them. That's the yeah. We're going to bugger everybody. All right. We're going to go. Jim,
Great to see you,
can
Gary.
we see you again fairly shortly?
Great panel.
Great
fun.
panel tonight.
Great fun.
Part of it. Stace, good luck
Nice to
down
see
at
you.
those law courts.
No, I'm not going there again. It's all good now.
Oh, you didn't get to see what she was
It's all
talking
good now.
about. It's all good?
Yes.
Keep smiling. Margy,
Another fun night.
another
Loving
fun
it.
night.
Yeah.
Are you going to be scaling any buildings again soon?
I'm going to go and walk Portugal soon, actually. So
Tell
that
us
should be
about
good.
it when we come back.
Yeah.
Johnny, good to have you here, sir.
Great to be here, always, Mitch, but wish I was doing something like you were doing. It's
We all
amazing.
do. Good night, everybody. Wave time.
How's that for timing?